Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Martis. I'm a real estate broker in the greater Seattle area with North Pacific Real Estate. I'm the managing broker and owner of the brokerage along with my wife, Carmen, and I wanted to make a YouTube channel and some videos about the market here locally in the greater Seattle area. There's a lot of channels out there that talk about national housing data in the market, but I'd like to create one and discuss topics locally, and I think it'll be helpful for everyone if you are living in the area or if you're thinking of moving into the Seattle area. So first I wanted to address on this episode is how a lot of the news articles out there that you see will mention Seattle as one of the fastest, the markets that are dropping fastest in home prices. So it's scaring a lot of people. I have clients contacting me and they're wondering how the market's doing, especially those that own homes. And what I want to say is, although it's going down, it went up so fast that it's still a strong market. And I wanted to show some data and just to show you some different properties to give you an idea of what's happening. So let's go ahead and take a look here. The pandemic started in March 2020. That's when most properties were experiencing some changes, and at first they were going down. But if we look here in about March 2020, the average median sales price was $440,000. Now it's $630,000, right? That's a huge increase. And if you're looking at from a percentage standpoint, you know, that's almost 50% increase, right? Give or take a few percentage points. So the market went up quite a bit in that time during the pandemic. And if we look more closely at certain cities, right, we can look at the city of Seattle and see how that changed. In March 2020, $741,000 was the median sales price. And going all the way up till now, the last month we have of data, which is September, it's $900,000. So it's gone up quite a bit. Even though interest rates went up earlier in this year, we didn't see a huge change in the pricing of homes and what they sold for. We can look at a different area here. Let's go to Bellevue. Look at Bellevue, we'll go to March, 1.15 million, and now it's flattening a little bit, but 1.8 million is the median sales price. So it's gone up from that standpoint, you know, almost 80%, which is crazy because in most markets, the average increase in home prices per year is a few percentage points. So the housing market, is it going down? It's going down, but not in the same way that the news would like you to believe. Let's look at some news articles. It says U.S. home price growth slows most on record as market hits brakes. This is the Seattle Times here. Different ones. Seattle is America's fastest cooling housing market. A lot of different websites you've probably seen that discuss this. However, if we're looking at the data, we can see that prices have gone up quite a bit. They are dropping in some areas, and I would like to show you an example. If we go to homes sold in let's say last 9 months, the peak in my opinion was February of 2022. I had listings that I sold, and I could notice the difference between when they were listed and sold in February until March, April, May. We saw after March it started to go down in price and in demand. So we'll look at an area. Let's choose Bothell, for example. That's north of Bellevue, about 15-20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to look in this area here. We have a lot of new homes, newer houses, larger houses. So we have one here that sold for $2.1 million. And I want to show you some details about this. Look at the list price, $1.499 million. And it sold for $2,167,500. So right there, that's over $600,000 above list price. I had a client that we submitted an offer on this property, and we put over $2 million for the offer and did not get the property. So this is an example. I mean, what homes we're selling for. This was in March 25th, 2022. Now these same types of homes are selling for less. There's some that are similar sized homes they're selling for example 1.8, 1.98. This one was still higher, but it was larger than this other house that sold for almost 2.2 million. And by several hundred square feet, this one is larger and sold for 1.98. You'll see other ones for 1.86, 1.7. And that's why people think the housing market is going down so much, because the percentage, yes, is going down. But if you look at how high it went up and how fast it went up, the homes are still selling for great prices. A lot of these houses in this area a couple of years ago were selling for around $1 million, maybe a little bit above $1 million. And now they're still selling for a super high price. I mean, at one house here not too far away, 1.9 million, as well as we can see here. And a lot of these homes now are selling 1.5 and above, 1.5 million and above. Whereas a couple years ago, I had a house in this neighborhood, and it was around 3,500 square feet. It sold for a little bit under $1 million. But at that time, that's what the housing market was like a couple of years ago. So I don't want anyone to be worried that the market is crashing in Seattle. It's still very strong, and it's just adjusting, which it should, right? It went up too fast in a short period of time, and now we can still see what's happening, right? House prices are coming down, but they're still high. If you're a buyer, I don't think you'll get a house at half price, right? Interest rates are higher, so home prices are coming down. But if you're a seller, homes are still selling for a great price. I wouldn't feel as though you're giving the home away. So we'll see what happens in the next few weeks here with the market. There's a possible Fed rate increase on the interest rate. We'll see how that impacts things. But as of now, this is my opinion on what's happening in the real estate market in the greater Seattle area, just to give you some examples here that I showed. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel. I will be posting updates every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what kind of news comes out. But I want to keep you updated on what's happening so that you're aware for the local housing market. And instead of the national, you can kind of see what's happening here nearby where you live. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.